Greetings from the Middle East, everybody. I'm Richie Santos Diaz, and I'm speaking to you live via Zoom on with Nir from Tel Aviv. He is currently working. He's the founder of Fintech Aviv. So Nir, welcome to today's little program.
Hi, Richie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Can you give us a little bit of background, because I mentioned Fintech Aviv. What is that, and also a bit about you as an expert in the space as well.
Sure. So Fintech Aviv is a fintech community. It's basically the Israeli Fintech Association, established back in 2014.
Okay.
We have more than 30,000 members in our community with a global reach. We serve our community with different content conferences we're hosting, probably, and mostly in 2020, these were digital conference, digital events, but we look forward to get back to the old days when we host physical events. So this is Fintech Aviv. We have a massive network of fintechs, entrepreneurs, investors, bankers in our community, and our goal is basically to support the export of Israeli technologies to different regions. So we help Israeli fintechs to onboard either investors or new clients, and that's what we do.
And it's incredible in terms of seeing all the technology that's come out of Israel. I mean, the nickname Startup Nation isn't a startup nation for no reason, right? And that goes to my next kind of question for you is, can you? I think many know now that Israel is a leader in wider tech as a whole, in digital, and obviously including fintech as well. Can you just kind of, in a high level, explain a bit about the ecosystem in your point of view in terms of fintech and wider tech?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when we deal with fintech companies, it's very broad. It's throughout all the range. So it can be payments, lending, insurtech, blockchain, capital market solutions like trading platforms and stuff like this, and also backend solutions, big data, AI, machine learning based solutions. Israeli engineers are well known in their deep tech capabilities. So, we leverage that to probably export and manufacture all kind of solutions, smart solutions that will support the financial industry. It can be the banking industry, insurance industry, investment industry, or even payments and credit card bureaus. So they all use technologies that are sprouting from Israel. In terms of investments, this will be interesting to discuss about it. We saw that 2020 attract a lot of investments to Israeli fintech, almost $1.7 billion, which is a similar number to 2019. And the most of the technologies that attract the most of the investments are payment technologies. And we saw some anti-fraud authentication, cybersecurity for the financial industry, like identity theft, identity management solutions that attract also a lot of investments. And we saw also insurtech and lending. I would say that these are the main verticals that are operating in Israel, the sub-segments of fintech that are leading the industry, along to probably trading platforms and capital market solutions.
Interesting. So, instead of kind of doing the standard next question, so I'm going to throw a little one for you. What has been the most interesting or favorite technological solution you've seen recently in the space in Israel?
This is an interesting question, as we saw many, but an interesting one was supersonic waves based authentication mechanism.
Okay.
Interesting. You know how it is when we all have our fingerprint, which is unique and stuff like this. So I didn't know that before I knew this company, but apparently that our mobile phone has a unique fingerprint in the speaker. Okay. So imagine yourself, you are watching TV and the television recognizes that Richie is in front of it, and deliver a message that is suitable and dedicated and adapted to Richie. And if you were walking through a billboard then, or if you're approaching the ATM, so you don't need to hit the PIN code anymore because the ATM recognizes your mobile phone, pops a text message, asks you, are you there? Is it you? You say yes, and here you go, you can make a withdrawal. So basically it's an authentication and identification mechanism, which is based on the speakerphone, on supersonic waves, which this was just different from everything else we saw in this segment. So, it's just an example, but I have so many.
Yeah.
Another company, you want an example on insurtech company?
Yeah, go ahead. Why not?
Another interesting solution we saw lately. You know how emergency flights there are super costly, and if
Mm,
there's something, if you're traveling in a different country and you have your insurer back in your hometown,
yeah.
getting a phone call from you, receiving a phone call from you, you're saying, okay, I need an emergency flight, not to mention flight with a body. This is really
Especially last year with COVID, right? And all that.
especially last year when there
Yeah,
were no
a lot of people
flights.
want to get stuck.
This is very costly and it's very expensive for the insurance companies. So there's a very interesting platform we saw lately, which is basically the Uber of emergency flights. There are two
Okay.
people from the same region or similar close regions that they need to go to their hometown, which is same place. So yeah, there will be a flight. There will be a dashboard, navigation dashboard that is shared with all the insurance companies that they can basically share this expensive emergency flight. So this is a very smart solution. It sounds simple, it's not deep tech. It's not like super sophisticated IP there,
Yeah.
but it's like Facebook. Facebook doesn't have a sophisticated mechanism. So it's like Uber, the same. So it's just an idea and it's working very well with the biggest insurers in the world already operating in it.
No, it's interesting. That's an interesting one, actually. Yeah, and especially with it resonates with what's been happening. It's with the uncertainty of travel and being stuck in general, right? My final kind of question to you is, I mean, the future one is where do you see, how do you see 2021 and beyond looking like in the fintech space in Israel and beyond?
So yeah, for this question, if you ask anybody,
Mm,
they will say, quantum computing. It's the buzzword. It's the new buzzword, quantum
yeah,
computing. I won't say quantum computing. It's like people used to say AI 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
yeah,
But I will say that the lending industry, in terms of fintech, especially the buy now pay later feature,
mm,
is expanding, is going there. So how we most of the population right now are low on cash flow, and there are all kind of financial problems
yeah,
in many households. So I think that the latest word in this space, in the lending space, and it's going to be serving us in 2021, as far as we see, probably in 2022 as well as and and go on, is buy now pay later features. You're
yeah,
in the checkout page of an e-commerce website, you don't have the credit to pay for the product you want to pay,
mm,
especially if it's a expensive product like
yeah.
a trip abroad or vacation or electronic
Like a bendable phone.
gadgets, stuff like this, mobile phones and stuff like this.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, you're probably gonna ask for a loan in this specific point of time. And other technologies that I think that's going to be leading 2021, 2022, probably, insurtech, new
mm,
insurance policies, cyber insurance, pet insurance, a car insurance, which is based on the user-based insurance, UBI, based on how much you're actually driving and not
yeah.
just a fixed premium for the whole year. So smart insurance policies, I think it's going to be also something that 2021 is going to give us into the fintech space, going to give different users the more possibilities and more options to choose from. And probably also regtech, regulation technologies.
Yeah.
You can't avoid that. Open banking in Europe, and the way that things are changing fast in the regulatory space in different regions
Mm.
is gonna basically financial institutions will have to adapt and to adopt different reg tech and compliance technologies to keep up the pace.
Thank you for that. It's a lot of predictions, but I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a digital world for sure. I think more so now than
Yeah,
even.
we're going digital. I didn't mention cryptocurrencies, digital
Right.
wallets, payments, cashless economy in general. But of course, we're going there. You can't disregard or in the price of Bitcoin and
Exactly.
what's happening on this lately.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Anywho, well, Nir, thank you so much for spending time with us, and hopefully, in a post-COVID world, we'll meet in Tel Aviv.
Richie, I'm sure it will happen quite soon. You are my guest. Please, you're more than welcome to visit us in Tel Aviv.
Thank you so much. I'll take up on that offer. Huh?